Edmund Hillary, Exploring Mount Everest and More, by Nolan Baker. Edmund Percival Hillary was born on July 20th, 1919 in Auckland, New Zealand. He had two siblings. His father, Percival Hillary, served in World War I and took up beekeeping in the land he was allotted after the war. His mother, Gertrude Hillary, was a loving and gentle parent. She was a teacher. Edmund attended Tukwau Primary School and went to Auckland Grammar School later. He was a small child who had a poor self-image. He read books about the Antarctic and mountains on the long train ride to and from school. In his teen years, he took up boxing and went on a ski trip to Mount Ruapehu in 1935. This was his first experience of the mountains. Hillary spent 2 unsuccessful years at Auckland University College and then decided to take up the family business of beekeeping. He became a full-time beekeeper and took up some of his father's ideals, such as Christian ideals and social justice. Later in his life, he turned these ideals into agnostic but compassionate views of the world. On a short vacation to the Southern Alps, Hillary climbed Mount Oliver, which was just 1,933 meters on the Sealy Range. According to Hillary, it was the happiest day he had ever spent. In early 1944, Hillary joined the Royal New Zealand Air Force. Training camps in the RNZAF provided him with opportunity to climb various mountains in New Zealand, such as Mount Taranaki. He was posted in Fiji in 1945, where he was badly burnt in a boating accident. He recovered quickly, and when the war ended, he returned to New Zealand and climbed his first 3,000-meter peak, Mountains Malte Brun and Hamilton, in the Southern Alps. Hillary's Himalayan dreams were realized in 1950 when Earl Ridderford invited him to climb some of the world's tallest mountains. Ridderford was a major climber who had summited some of the Southern Alps' most remote mountains. Ridderford used persistence and legal skills to gain permission to climb in the Garhwal Himalaya in India. After much success climbing the peaks, the New Zealand Alpine Club requested, while the expedition was still in India, that 2 New Zealanders join the 1951 Everest reconnaissance expedition. Ridderford and Hillary took the positions. Hillary and Ridderford rushed to join Shipton's team in Nepal, and then headed into the Khumbu region. The first attempt was unsuccessful. A French climbing team had just summited Annapurna, and every country had their sights on Everest. Himalayan governments only allowed 1 expedition per year, so they had to settle on summiting Cho Oyu, an 8,000-meter peak. More exploration followed. In the 1953 attempt, Eric Shipton, the previous reconnaissance leader, was replaced by Colonel John Hunt. Climbing in the Himalayas was a logistical race against the monsoons, a rainy season that lasts for months. John Hunt had applied military-style tactics to the attempt, establishing routes for porters, or people who carry food and oxygen, to place necessities at successively higher camps. This tactic ensured that there would be enough, even if they ran out at the previous camp. When they got above the treacherous Khumbu icefall, George Lowe, who was new to the team, created a route up the steep Lost face to get them to Everest's South Col, or the lowest point of a ridge. Charles Evans and Tom Berdean made it to the south summit, but did not advance further. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, the Sherpa who accompanied Hillary, had a chance to summit. Hillary carried 27 kilograms, which even at sea level is a heavy load. The pair of climbers advanced to the final camp, where on the 29th of May, 1953, they set off to summit Everest. If the 2 explorers did not summit now, someone else would, as there were teams climbing constantly now. After they had passed where Evans and Berdean had set back, they reached an extremely steep cliff, now named the Hillary Step. Hillary wedged himself in between the rock and the ice and wiggled his way up the cliff. The route to the summit was clear now. After a few hundred feet, they had successfully summited Mount Everest. Tenzing left offerings on the summit as he was Buddhist, and Hillary left a cross. Upon return, Hillary told George an infamous and later regretted comment. "Well, George, we knocked the bastard off." Hillary's life was immediately changed. Queen Elizabeth, then new to the throne, knighted Sir Edmund Hillary. Back in New Zealand, he met Louise Rose, who he eventually married. Hillary did not have enough courage to ask Louise to marry him, so Louise's mother proposed to her daughter for Hillary. George Lowe was the best man. They built a house in Auckland, using the proceeds from his first autobiography, High Adventure. Hillary had 3